What is up, my friends? Today I'm going to be doing something different and new to the channel. This will be a regular thing. I'm going to be doing Magic card reviews. I'm going to start this new thing off big. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about the top, my opinion, the top 10 cards of 2015 for the standard, modern, vintage, legacy. I don't know much for those, but just talking about new cards, so don't need to know much about those formats. Other than that, a certain card has been changing them entirely. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to give my opinions. I am mostly knowledgeable about standard, so that's what I'm going to go off of for the most part. Standard draft, EDH. I know a little bit about modern. So getting right into it. At number 10, I have Den Protector. Den Protector is a human warrior creature. Costs 1 and a green for a 2/1. Creatures with power less than Den Protectors can't block it. Megamorph, 1 and a green. Megamorph is you put it down for 3. You pay the Megamorph, you turn it face up, and it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. So morph, but +1 counter. That's the mega part. The important part about Den Protector is, and why you want a Megamorph, when Den Protector is turned face up, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. I believe this card is incredibly powerful because I don't know how many times I've had an opponent playing something and it's threatening, and I finally get rid of it and I'm happy about it, only for them to flip a Den Protector and put it right back in their hand, and I gotta deal with it again. Den Protector is cheap. It's powerful by itself, and it returns cards, not just creatures or instants or sorceries. Target card from your graveyard to your hand. That's why I put Den Protector at number 10. For number 9, I have Tasigur, the Golden Fang. 5 and a black for a 4/5 human shaman. Delve. You can exile a card out of your graveyard, and that will pay for 1 colorless of its casting cost, making Tasigur essentially black and 5 cards out of your graveyard. Super good, super cheap. Then what Tasigur can do is for 2, and then green-blue or green-blue, the hybrid mana, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then return a non-land card of an opponent's choice from your graveyard to your hand. A lot of people like Tasigur. I played Tasigur for a little while. Not as big of a fan of it as some people I know and have played against. But I do play Tasigur, 2 of them, I believe, in my Abzan deck for Standard, because late game, to just draw and drop it and just go, boom, there it is. 5 and a black for a 4/5, kind of whatever. But the thing that I've always done late game with Tasigur is set up for his ability to take cards out of the graveyard and potentially make the opponent choose one to go back to your hand. I will always delve because non-land cards. I'll always delve the crappy ones that won't help me, and usually land, because that's useless in the grave. But I'll try to filter out the cards that I would find useful, because the opponent's going to pick those first if they think they're the most useless card for me. That's just good strategy, as I've heard some call it. Moving on, card number 8 of my top 10 for 2015. Deathmist Raptor. For 1 green, you get a 3/3 lizard beast with Death Touch. Whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, you may return Deathmist Raptor from your graveyard to the battlefield face up or face down. That's a little scary to me. I mean, obviously, somebody brings a Deathmist Raptor back from the grave, face down, you're going to take note that that's a Deathmist Raptor. But if they have one face up on the field that dies, they will then take the one they just got back, flip it over, and now they put the one that just died back face down. I don't know, do it again, or maybe face up. That's the part that gets annoying for me. And then down at the bottom, it has Megamorph 4 and a green. So it most certainly can. You can most certainly use 2 Deathmist Raptors to cycle back and forth. I highly doubt you'll be able to do it for long, because your opponent's going to go, wait a minute, I don't like that shit. But Deathmist Raptor, 3 for a 3/3 Death Touch. Love it. 3 for a 3/3 Death Touch that will go and return itself to play when you flip something in a format where there are lots of morph creatures that are good. Go ahead and take a look at Den Protector again. That's insane to me. So that's my number 8. My number 7 of my top 10, Liliana, Heretical Healer. Now, this one is a bit of an easy one, and my friends, people who know me, know Liliana is my favorite Planeswalker. So you could say I'm a little bit biased to her. That's fair. I'm not going to deny it. She is my favorite. But I do feel like this is a good card. Let's take a look at it. 1 and black for a 2/3 legendary human cleric with lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile Liliana, Heretical Healer, then return her to the battlefield transformed under her owner's control. If you do, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Let's flip her over and take a look at her Planeswalker side. 3 loyalty, +2, each player discards a card. -X, return target non-legendary creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. And -8, I'm waiting for that day where I hit that -8. You get an emblem with, whenever a creature you control dies, return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. Liliana, in case any of you don't know, she's all about the zombies. She is all about bringing things back to life. I feel like it's a good card because for 3 you get a 2/3 with lifelink. That's fair right there. That's pretty fair already. Now let's make it so that whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you get a 2/2 zombie to replace her body or the other creature's body, however you want to look at it. And she comes back as a Planeswalker, which then you can use her minus. You're almost always going to +2 as soon as you do. As soon as you get her, at least I always do, because the -X for 3, lose Liliana, and you only get something that costs 3 back. Not going to do it right away, but I almost always +2 at least once, sometimes twice, and then bring back the creature that they just killed that made Liliana flip. I'm a big fan of her. And it's not just because of the art, not just because of Liliana the Veil. I mean, everybody knows I like Liliana. But I feel it's an incredibly good card, and that's why I got her in my top 10. Taking a look at the next card on my list, we have Ugin the Spirit Dragon. This card, I think, is great, not only because it's a Planeswalker, which is kind of an obvious thing. I mean, seriously, how many bad Planeswalkers are there? Tibalt. Aside from Tibalt, there aren't very many bad Planeswalkers. I feel he's the only one that's garbage, and even then, you got to find the right spot for him. He's not complete trash, but he's not great. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. For 8, you get a 7 loyalty Planeswalker, +2, does 3 damage to target creature or player. Well, for 8 mana, that's a pretty expensive lightning bolt. But that's okay, I'm fine with that, because I drafted Ugin, ridiculous. As soon as you play Ugin, most of the time in a draft when I played Ugin, they just scooped. But this is standard we're talking about. +2 to lightning bolt something. -X. Exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less that's 1 or more colors. Now in a set full of Morph and Manifest, this is big, because you can play a Morph/Manifest deck. All your stuff is colorless when it's face down. You minus, 6, 7 if you have to. Now you just destroy the field, except your stuff is still there. If you -6 off Ugin, he still has 1 loyalty. He stays in play. You have creatures. Most likely, your opponent does not. I think Ugin's amazing. Oh yeah, that was his -X. Let's look at his -10, the ultimate. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Holy shit, that is insane. Draw 7 cards. You can just dump 7 permanents from your hand into play. It's insane. It's nuts. But you know what? I've never seen anybody do the ultimate, even if it does only take 2 extra turns. As soon as you play him, he goes up to 9. Unless you want to -X, which a lot of people, I saw a lot of people do that instead of -10. Not a lot of people I know want to save up, because they're going to play Ugin and board wipe if they can. Also, if they don't need to board wipe, I think Ugin's overkill. You don't need him then, but but as soon as you play him, most likely you'll +2. And then the second turn he's in play, +2. Third turn he's in play, -10. Ridiculous. He's insanely good. And you know what I like about him? He's a colorless planeswalker. Take a look at Karn. Karn is ridiculously expensive and popular because he's colorless. He goes everywhere in Modern. That's why I got him as my number 6 card of 2015. Taking a look at number 5, Collected Company. 3 and a green for an instant. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Put up to 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Why is this great? Because I love to cheat creatures into play. In Standard, this has seen a lot of play, at least in my shop it is, a lot of play in different decks. It's not something that is just, yeah, that one deck does it, maybe there's another. No, lots of different decks can benefit from it. It is a very good card. It's very powerful. It's 4 cost, so that's already pretty nice. Oh yeah, and they made it an instant. Are we just going to go ahead and... Why is it rare? How come it's not a mythic? We're just going to go ahead and... Yeah, okay, let's just do that, you know. Collected Company, big and Standard. I'm seeing it a lot more in Modern lately. I do play Modern. I have a Bant Collected Company deck. Well, gee, that tells you anything about how good it is. And it's all about cheating creatures down. For Modern, like Geist of St. Traft, Kitchen Finks. I am trying Scab Ruinator. It is a 5/6 flying for 3. It's additional cost when you cast it. You have to exile 3 creatures from your grave. So that part kind of sucks. But if you hit it with Collected Company, you just got a 5/6 flyer. So I'm trying that out right now for my Modern deck. But, I mean, I just named 3 creatures right there. There are plenty of others you can do. You can take out any of the Origins Planeswalkers because they all cost 3. Jace costs 2, and let's see, they cost 1, 2, 3... Yeah, Chandra's 3, Lily's 3, and Nissa's 3. So you can collect a company any one of the Origins Planeswalkers, so it's great in Standard. You can hit it, you can use it to hit, well, it was very popular, Rabblemaster, Goblin Rabblemaster. I loved Collect a Company into Rabblemaster. I had seen some people use it on Illusory Angel, which, just like Scab Ruinator, it bypasses the have to play a spell before this one on your turn. So there's a 4/4 flying, just like that. Which is kind of cool, you know. So, Collected Company's nice, because if your deck plays green and a lot of small creatures, it fits. It's a perfect card for any of those decks. Moving on to card number 4 of 2015, Hangarback Walker. A lot of people, should have seen this one coming. But I do know a lot of people, when I was talking about this with some of my friends, they disagree. They really feel like Hangarback should be higher on the list, like number 2. But I had to put it at number 4 because I feel like it is good. It's colorless. It can go in any deck. I feel like it works. It's obviously good in Standard. You see it everywhere in Standard. But it's good because you could put it in Arcbound Ravager in Modern. I don't know many people that are, but you could. You know, and that's nice. It's colorless. You can put it anywhere. Oh, yeah, and you can play it on turn 2. For 1/1 counter. I mean, most people do, but you don't have to. You can play it on turn 4 for 2 counters, turn 6 for 3 counters. It goes up as the game progresses. So the longer the game goes, the bigger you can make Hangarback Walker. That's why I feel like he's really versatile. We haven't even looked at what he does yet, except for, +1 counters. XX, and then he gets, X +1 counters. He is a 0/0. When Hangarback Walker dies, put a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying onto the battlefield for each +1 counter on Hangarback Walker. Tap 1 and Hangarback Walker, put a +1 counter on Hangarback Walker. That's ridiculous. So not only can you play him early game, and he's small if you wanted to, you could save him for late game where he's bigger and more effective, or let's say you did play him early game. Well, let's just make him bigger on the field. It's really nice. It can be played early or late game, and whenever it dies, unless they hit it with an Abzan Charm or an Utter End, it has to be exiled in order for it to not work. But if it dies, goes to the graveyard from battlefield, you get Thopter tokens, and that's really nice, because it's the creature that they kill. Well, look at that. You're not done with this yet. He explodes into other creatures. That's why I got Hangarback Walker as number 4 on my list. Number 3 on my list, for cards of 2015, I have Dragonlord Ojutai. 3 white-blue for a 5/4 legendary Elder Dragon. Flying, hexproof if he's untapped, And whenever Dragonlord Ojutai deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on your bottom of your library in any order. So, 5/4, flying, hexproof if untapped, combat damage to a player, you get to anticipate. Really nice, because you can sit there, you throw it down there, keep him untapped, he's a blocker that they can't shoot down. Oh, they have no threats? Let's swing with him and anticipate. You know, there's a little card advantage in there. It's a big creature. It has hexproof. Hexproof is just a broken ability, period. I don't know many people that look at hexproof and go, yeah, it's fine. A lot of people I know hate hexproof because it's just so good. Shroud is fair. Hexproof is not. That's why I got Dragonlord Ojutai as number 3. Number 2 on my list of 2015, Gideon, ally of Zendikar. Yeah, Planeswalkers are big. This one of the biggest. You know, you take a look at him. He's 2, white, for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. +1, until end of turn, Gideon, ally of Zendikar, becomes a 5/5 human soldier ally creature with indestructible that's still a Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. That's pretty nice because he keeps the theme that he's always had of prevent damage done to him whenever he becomes a creature. It's really nice because it's always been Gideon's thing. And I like that. I like that he has a theme, just like Liliana's always been about discard and bringing stuff back from the graveyard. Jace is all about drawing cards. You know, it's cool. It's not something you'd expect a Planeswalker to just revert back to a creature. I mean, Sarkhan does it, but, you know, whatever. Sarkhan's more about dragons. He becomes a dragon, and that fits his theme too. But Gideon, I think it's a really interesting, cool, and fun theme that this Planeswalker has. Taking a look at his other abilities, 0, put a 2/2 white knight ally creature token onto the battlefield. Okay, let's focus on one key word here. Ally. He fits in an ally deck. That's ridiculous, because allies are all about triggering whenever an ally comes into play. So with Gideon down, he, while having ally in his name, is not an ally, does not trigger. But for 0, you don't even have to do anything, just say I'm doing it. You get an ally token to trigger all your other allies in play. That's insane. And even if you don't play other allies, he's still good because you play him. Well, now you have a Planeswalker that's going to swing next turn. And this turn, you get a 2/2 Knight token that's going to block to keep him on the field so you can swing with a 5/5 human soldier ally who's indestructible. It's insane. I love him. Gideon's awesome. -4. This part I really like too because you have options. You can do all 3 of them first turn he comes down. I don't know why he'd +1 when he has Summoning Sickness. But for -4, you get an emblem with creatures you control get +1/+1. That's awesome because you can do it as soon as you play him. And trust me, I've done it many times. I love swinging with a Mantis Rider. That's 4/4 out of nowhere. It's awesome. I only do it when I have multiple Gideons in hand, but, you know, everybody does things different. But I got Gideon as number 2 on my list. Taking a look at number 1, there aren't many people that are surprised by this. I have some people that have disagreed. It's good, but a lot of people I know don't think it should be number 1. But this isn't their list. This is my list, and I know a lot of you will agree with me. Number 1 on my list of 2015, any cards out of 2015, Jace, Vryns Prodigy. Why Jace? For those of you who do not know, 1 in a blue, he's a human wizard, legendary human wizard. 0/2, tap, draw a card, then discard a card. If there are 5 or more cards in your graveyard, exile Jace, Vryns Prodigy, then return him to the battlefield transformed under his owner's control. Now, yeah, he's cheap and it's easy, but you know what? He's already good right there. You don't even have to flip him over and read what else he does. Right there he's good, and I'll tell you why. Early game, if you get him down on turn 2, he's good because he lets you go and filter your hand to get good cards and set up your hand early in the game. Not many cards allow you to go and do that. You know, you get to draw cards and throw away the garbage. Most of the time, like 90% of the time, at least 90% of the time, if you have a garbage card in your hand or two garbage cards, you're stuck with them. Play them. You hold on to them. Maybe they'll be valuable at some point in the game. But with Jace, you go, oh, I don't really need that. Let's just toss that. And then you got a different card. That's awesome right there. But then if you have 5 or more in your graveyard, you flip them over to a 5 loyalty planeswalker, +1, up to 1 target creature gets -2/-0 until your next turn. It follows the Jace theme of, holding creatures back a little bit. That's not always been his big thing, though, but he has done some things like that before, I believe. Taking a look at his -3, the one that I love. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. He gives something flashback. An instant or sorcery card in your graveyard, he gives flashback. Now, I have a friend who plays a Bring to Light deck, and he will Bring to Light, flip Jace, and then use him to Bring to Light again. I have myself gone and used Jace to Crackling Doom, -3, Crackling Doom, swing. All in one turn. It's awesome. Jace is an amazing planeswalker. We're not even done with him yet. He's got another ability. -9, you get an emblem with, whenever you cast a spell, target opponent puts the top 5 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. That last part, kind of whatever. But, that's just icing on the cake. Because I feel the best part about Jace is on the front. Being able to draw cards, filter your hand out, and you can get rid of that garbage. So you have a better chance of winning late game. Early game, he's a bombshell. Late game, he just plays those big spells that you had early game. That's why I got Jace. It's my number 1 of 2015. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is something I plan on doing. I'm going to be not so much top 10s, because I can't do a top 10 video of cards the previous year all the time. Only once a year. But I do plan on doing top 10s for sets. I plan on doing card reviews for just cards that are played in Modern, Standard, EDH, stuff like that. If you guys are interested in seeing something like that, why don't you go ahead, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit like if you want to see some more stuff like this, and do me a favor, let's try to get those subscribers up. If you want to see more of these, hit subscribe. Really appreciate it. Tell your friends about it. Let them know I'm doing card reviews. I'm going to try to keep them going up there daily. So if you guys want to see some of that stuff, you want to hear my opinions, I do a lot of draft in EDH. Try to do some Standard and Modern. Not as much, though. I really focus on draft and EDH. You guys want to hear my thoughts and opinions on cards? Tell your friends. Check out my channel. Subscribe, like. Give me all that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you all next time.